Welcome to the chat. Just trying to. Hello, Christine. Hi. Nice to see you here again. Um, how is your day going today? Good afternoon. How is your day going today? I'm just reading a little bit of this book. I'm fine. Can you hear me? I'm using this Bluetooth headset, but it feels as if it's blocking my perception of my own voice, like as if I cannot hear myself. Can you hear me? Um, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I'm fine. I'm fine. I hope you're having a wonderful day as well today. Somehow I feel as if after um after my live streams here, because I do live streams every day here, I feel as if I don't have the rest of the day, like I don't have any more much time left in the day. Hello Shiv, welcome to the chat. Mishra, hi, welcome to the chat. I feel like I don't have enough time to do all that things for the rest of the day, but I will say that today, has been awesome. The thing I was struggling with yesterday, yeah, that was kind of stressing me out, yeah. Um, I finally settled down, like I finally dealt with it, and I'm feeling much better today about everything. Um, oh, nice to know that your day is going well, Christine. So I was talking about time here and how it feels as if I don't have enough time after my live streams to read my books and all of that. Hello, Osho. Hello, George. Thank you for double tapping. Thank you. Welcome to the chat. How is everybody? Hello. I cannot see that name spelling well. Hello, welcome to the chat. Everybody, my name is King. I'm so happy to see you today here. Um, make sure to subscribe and all of that and all of that. Yeah, I'm from Nigeria. My name is King. I'm from Nigeria. This is Nigeria. Um, if you can hear me, just indicate here. I feel as if my headset is not picking up properly. Hello, hi. Um, where are you from? Where is everybody from? Before we start, our discussion today, where is everybody from? Also, thank you for stopping by. Subscribe, support the channel. Mm, yeah, nice to meet you too, Osho. Um, yeah, so I'm just like scraping through this book here. I'm skimming through it because I actually want to finish the book and um, make a review of it here. I think I'm just going to review like 3 books, as a video, in a video here. I'll post it on my channel as my September reads, even though I completed some of them in October. Um, yeah, so that's the thing. I'm reading books, but that is not what I'm going to talk about today here. Today, I just want to allow people to get settled, coming into the chat, and then I'll start talking about what I want to talk about. Um, sorry, I don't know Osho. Sorry, I don't know Osho. But you can tell me where Osho is from, or where Jinish Osho. Yes, hello, Santosh. Hello, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat, everybody. I don't know Osho. Oh, not interested. Okay, I will. I should look it up on Google. Yeah. Where is Osho from? Like, what country is Osho originating from? Um, yeah. So, should I just wait for people to join the chat or join the live stream before I start explaining, not explaining, but kind of discussing the thing that really motivated me to come on live. Yeah, I actually always come on live. Yeah, I come on live daily. Yeah, but today I was especially motivated. Yeah, because of a comment. Oh, from India. Oh, I'm not familiar with India's philosophy actually. So I don't know, maybe I'll look it up, yeah, after when I'm free. So I actually wanted to come on here and kind of discuss certain things because if you are not familiar with my channel, let me just give you a quick rundown of what I do here. I do a lot of social commentary. I read books, I read poetry, I discuss music and the arts, and I like I said, social commentary. Yeah? So I discuss things, that I see in the society, that I see online in the internet space. Hello, Juma. Hi, welcome to the chat. So I discuss all those things on my channel, as a means of also spreading awareness in my own little way, of topics that some people might take for granted in their everyday lives, and they might not want to really face, because it is not convenient, and it's like, okay, I have this platform, and so I'm going to use it to talk about the things I care about. um so in that vein, yeah, I care about music. Yeah, I care about music. Noise. Okay. Thank you for joining the chat for sure. Thank you so much. Um, so noise. Okay, so I was talking about how in one of my videos, actually the video I made on, not video, a live stream I went on Sunday. So in that video, yeah, in that live stream, yeah, I started talking about this music video NBA by Ladipo featuring Ayomaf, yeah. And that those are Nigerian artists. If you're not familiar with those names, NBA is a new song that Ladipo released. I think kind of like a single off of his album, kind of like a single off of his album, and he was saying different things. Like, the music video, yeah, was interesting to me. What I said in my live stream here was that I basically critiqued the song, and I was not critiquing it from a place of maybe the song does not sound good, or his writing is awesome or it's bad. Like, that was not the point of my highlighting this song. That was not the point of my highlighting the song in on the, like, in my live stream here. I highlighted this song because there were certain things that played out in the music video that was actually uncomfortable, and I felt it was not right. You get to display such kind of aesthetics in a music video, especially considering the state of Nigeria's economy. These are Nigerian artists, yeah, and yeah, the state of Nigerian economy. So on that live stream, I really went into depth of my actual critique of the music video, of the song, of whatever the song was, trying to represent. I was critiquing it, and then I now got a comment. That was on Sunday, yeah. And then I got a comment early this morning, and I was so surprised to see such a comment. Because number one, I feel like that shows my channel is hitting, consciousness. Like, maybe people are seeing the videos, yeah. But what this person commented was that this person said in the comments, Hello Sonic, welcome to the chat. This person said in the comment that um, so you used 1 hour plus or mostly more than 1 hour of your video to be bitter about a great song. You get, so you use 1 hour plus of it, like mostly 1 hour of your videos to be bitter about a great song from an artist. Amazing. Like that comment, when I saw it, I was like scratching my head, like, um, what are you talking about? You get, it stumped me in a way, in the sense like, oh, this is coming from a place of just stand behavior, yeah. This is coming from a place of, and I want to touch on the different aspect of that comment that made me realize that I'll need to address it, yeah. First of all, the first aspect of that so-called video or so-called comment is that um saying I use mostly 1 hour. You get, this is my channel. I can spend however long I want to do, however long I want on a video, on a live stream. You get, this is my channel. I'm the one that runs things here, yeah. So time is not an issue for me, especially when I'm talking about something I care about. So that is a very silly place to come from. Second of all, saying something like to be bitter. So now the bitterness is the main crux of the comment. I think the person just wanted to prove a point, wanted to disprove my critique of the song. You understand? Just wanted to disprove. So I have to now bring up my point about the song that I made sure to make clear in that live stream, on that live stream. The main critique of my song, in fact, emblazoned on the thumbnail, is poverty is not cool. Poverty is not cool over a music video picture. Like, is it not something that you're supposed to ask yourself? What does poverty have to do with this video? What does poverty have to do with this song? You get, so, and this person just like concluding their critique of my video as bitterness. You get, it's just like, first of all, it proves you did not watch my video. Mentioning 1 hour plus and saying bitter means you did not watch the video. You get, you are just going off of maybe the thumbnail or something that you probably skipped to one aspect of the video that you wanted to see, live stream, and you saw what you wanted to see. You get, and then the idea of bitterness, yeah, the idea of bitterness, like labeling my critique as coming from a place of bitterness, yeah, they're supposed to give up, it's supposed to give up this energy of it's supposed to imply jealousy, envy, you get, of somebody else's actions, envy of somebody's seeming success. You get, envy, just, and the bitterness, the way Nigerians use it, is coming from a place of illogical, irrational, annoyance or irritation, or just irrational envy, at somebody else that is doing nothing to you. You get, that's what bitterness is translated as when Nigerians use it here. It's like, oh, you just have no reason to feel this bad negative feeling about this person. And then that is why I want to bring up my critique again. What, I am just a random person on the internet, yeah. I have never made music before, but I always mention on my channel that how much I love music, and I've made several discussions about artists on my channel before. And it's like, what exactly am I supposed to, like, and what exactly, what level of, what kind of envy would I have towards a random artist making a video? You understand? Like, where would you think the envy will come from? Is it that I'm aspiring to have his clout or his influence? Am I aspiring to be like him? I've never ever said I was inspired by any single Nigerian artist on my channel in my life before. There is not a single artist I've ever mentioned as a Nigerian artist that's ever mentioned that I said, oh, this person inspired. No, there's no single Nigerian artist that is in mind that I even listen to casually by the side that I've ever felt inspired by enough to feel like, oh, I envy this person's success, or I envy this person's artistry or discography or success, whatever they call it here. I've never felt that way towards any artist like that here from this country. I've never felt so. So the thing about bitterness is just, is baseless. Like the envy aspect of it is baseless. Now, when I met in my critique, if you like, you can go and check the video again. In my critique, what was the point of my critique? The point of my critique is that there was this aestheticization, this glamorization, this glorification of poverty, you know, like putting, you know, signifiers of poverty and a tough life you get in your music video to validate the masculinity of your song, the hardness of your rap. And I was like, if you want to show people that you are masculine and your rap is hard guy rap, you don't need to use poor people as your props, you know, to highlight that in your music video. Basically, that's what I was just saying in that video, in my live stream. I kept on insisting that you need to put your money where your mouth is. In the case of Ladipo, I don't know much about his background, but at the end of the day, he is a successful artist, at least to a very large extent. He's a successful artist. And again, another, if you compare him to the men that were, you know, put in his video as props, those men will never see the kind of money and access to privilege that Ladipo enjoys on a daily basis. Yeah, they will never see such a thing, or they might never, let me not say they will, they might never get to that level of comfortability in this Nigerian economy, left to the way things are going in our economy, left to the hands of the people in power in our country. They will not see such success, you know. They might never see such level of success, you get. And so, but for you to now, you that you have down, they're coming from this class, so that puts Ladipo in a class of wealth, okay, high above these men that are in his videos, in this particular video. And then I was saying that these men, they are wearing ratty tees, they are wearing clothes that looked so bad. The shirts were slack, they didn't look good at all. They were wearing Dunlop slippers, they were gambling in broad daylight, playing with card, almost getting into this pretend fight. They were smoking, they were just hanging. You could see the despair in their eyes when the camera shot to their faces. And once I did not even highlight so much in that critique, which I will gladly highlight right now, is that those men were seen through the filter of black and white, you know, grayscale black and white, I think. And so those men, when you look at them, like when the camera pans to them and show them, you see just, and they were like dark skinned Nigerian men, which is, there's nothing wrong with it, you get. But the fact that they're just dark skinned, I think, is also supposed to play this role in black tees and nasty, like just ratty shorts. Yeah, they were just dressed, they were just there to be props, to show that, oh, Ladipo's music, you know, relates, connect, like these people connect with Ladipo's rap, these people are feeling Ladipo's rap. So that means Ladipo must be for the street. Ladipo's music, you know, cuts across classes, you know, and it is, you know, kind of something that brings like connection, you know. People in this lower class, you know, this lower economic class can relate to Ladipo's song. And I was like, what is he saying in his song that is making these people props in his video? He literally said, I just dropped a bag on a Lexus, on a Lex. These men that are here like this, do they even have homes? Do they have security of homes? Are they sleeping? Do you know whether they have homes to sleep in? You're talking about how you dropped a bag on a Lex, as in a car, an expensive car. You are flexing in the song. Meanwhile, we are using poor people in the background, because they were never at the foreground of this video. They were the background. They were always juxtaposed with him and Iron Man as, oh, my clique, my clique. But obviously he was the leader of the clique. Him and Iron Man, they're like leaders of this so-called clique here in this universe of the music video. And that's what I was saying. I was highlighting that it is a glamorization of poverty. These men are poor. Hello, Sammy. Welcome to the chat. These men are poor. These men are suffering. They're suffering under the weight of the kind of system, the corrupt systems we live in. We live under. They're suffering under the weight. And your music video does nothing for them. It highlights nothing about their issues. It brings no awareness to the situations that these men are in. All they are in your video is just props. And how you even know they are props is, there's a section towards the end of the music video where himself, Ladipo, and Ayomaf, they go to a nice, pretty looking music shop. in that music shop, both of them are looking at different music CDs. You know, they are going through catalogs of different musicians, and I'm like, these men that have always been these men that were props in your video, why are they not in this shop with you? Is it that um they don't appreciate music? Of course they appreciate music. That's why they agree to be in your music video. They like music, so they are in your music video, and also they are doing it for the money. Yeah, sure. But why did you not bring them, incorporate them in that music shop? Because it would not fit the aesthetic that you were going for. Aesthetic of a cool guy, you know, that is hard, but is also um how to say it, is also very how to say it, um he also has this aspect of himself that appreciates music. And do you know what these men were doing in the shop? Ayomaf and Ladipo sat, you know, on different tables, and they were drinking tea. Yeah, they were drinking tea from a very pretty glass cup, glass mug. Yeah, and it was pretty. That part of the video was not in black and white. It was in colors. It was pretty. The lighting was soft. It was this air of sophistication that it was trying to give off. But those men, they were not in the video. Those men, he showed them in another scene of in the music video eating amala with ewedu, you know, with him and Ayomaf in the buka. Those men were sitting down with him eating, and if you need to see that the camera was highlighting their faces, you know, and the way the food was entering their mouth, and it was supposed to be this thing of me, I be hard guy, you know, I can eat amala. I know as much as I'm rich and everything. I'm doing okay, Sam. It's okay if you did not finish the live with me. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Today I'm critiquing, like I'm addressing a comment I got, a negative comment I got on my live stream from Sunday. You know, the comment was in relation to how I was bitter about a a successful artist release of his music or his album. Like it was like as if, oh, the person was saying that I'm so bitter that I used over 1 hour to critique this artist that made a great song. We'll get to the great song part here. I'm talking about the bitter aspect now. The bitter aspect where this person said I was bitter, and I was like, look at the critique I'm making. I'm making about the overall systemic issues that would allow such a music video to exist without question, that would encourage artists to glamorize poverty as a way of proving, you know, the hardness, you know, the masculinity of their music. You use street men that are suffering, that are poor, they are not in the same class as you, will never see the kind of money that you see in a year, in a month. They will not see the money you see in a month as an artist in Nigeria, successful artist in a male artist in Nigeria. Those men will not see it in years, but you are using them as props. And then the other sinister aspect of this music video is that when he wanted to show off a sophisticated aspect of his personality, you know, through the music video, he and his featuring artist were in a beautiful music shop, looking through vinyl, looking through CDs, and then they sat down to have a cup of tea. Like two of them, each of them had like one cup of tea, and they were like enjoying it, and it looked so pretty. And it was supposed to show this sophisticated aura of this artist, of how he's a multifaceted guy. Yes, I am a hard guy. I have my street goons, my street guys, you know, that I play with, and I'm poor like them. And not that I'm poor like them, but because he did not dress like them. He didn't wear ratities. He wore a very neat white singlet, you know, with a nice, very, very, I'm sure, you know, expensive beret with shades and jewelry, and you know, he was dressed so nicely, and his featuring artist was also dressed in very expensive clothes, you get. But these men that were props in his video did not have that same costuming by the costuming department of the music video. You know, they just left them in their ratty raggedy shirt with rubber slippers, and they looked as if they are not, you know, they looked unkempt, you get. But they're supposed to look like that to prove that he is a, to make this man the center of the video, the center of what he's saying, that he is this hard guy. I'm rapping this, yes, see how hard I am. I'm mixing with people that are below my economic status, but they vibe with me because my music is just that good, yeah, you know. And all of this, yeah, all of this just goes to further glamorize Thank you, Samly. All of this just goes further to glamorize this thing that we've always played blind to in this country, which is that hard guy is something to aspire to. You should all aspire to be a hard guy. You should make money, but still aspire to be a hard guy, else you're not man enough. And for him to say, another interesting thing about using the specific term bitter for me is because they have already seen me as a woman, and so whenever women critique things online, the shallow response to a woman's critique is what she's bitter. He should have even written bitter feminist there, because I did not talk anything about woman. That's why he did not put feminist. He just said bitter, so I'm assuming, I know that is where it's coming from. It's very common, it's very popular to just silence like actual conversations, stop conversations, to stop yourself from thinking. When a woman like expresses ideas, it's like, oh, you're just bitter, you know and it was just so silly to me to see that coming, because I was like, where do I begin to reply to this kind of person? Because obviously they did not watch my video. I said on the thumbnail, poverty is not cool. Poverty is not cool. What does me critiquing the systemic issue of poverty have to do with me hating an artist? Wetin concern me? Like, I don't hate anybody. I don't think I will ever hate any public figure enough, to be like, except Elon Musk. I hate Elon Musk to hell and back. But I cannot hate like artists like that. I cannot take it so personal in my chest, like, oh, I hate you, so I'm just picking on you because, like, it just reeks of fighting for the big guy, saying, oh, I'm on the side of the rich artist that has more privilege and access and will suffer in a very lesser way. He will suffer under this system, because everybody in Nigeria suffers under this ugly government. Even if you are rich or poor, you will suffer from this government, but the way he's suffering is going to be lesser, than the way you that you are fighting for him in the comments, will suffer from this ugly system I am critiquing. You get, that is why I say these comments came from a place of ignorance. Yeah, it's of ignorance. Simply, that's my place. Like, it's coming from a place of ignorance, because at the end of the day, if you are not aware of the reality that there is a class, we are living in class systems. Okay, all of us in Nigeria, we are divided by our classes we exist in, but we are operating under this illusion that we can experience class mobility. Class mobility is when you feel you can go from lower class to middle class to upper class. And the way to get from lower class to middle class to upper class in Nigeria, they say work hard, go to school, pray to God. Those three things, they always tell us that is how you can experience class mobility, but that is a lie. None of those things have ever worked out. There are people that are educated, hardworking, and believes in God. They end up spending and dying in penury in this country every day. They die in numbers, the people that adhere to these so-called illusions. Yeah. And so when you now come out and I'm critiquing systems that have forced us to be, forced us to operate under lies, forced us to suffer under such an exploitative style of government, yeah, you now come to my comment and you're now talking as if my own business is with some random man just making his money by releasing music. Like, wetin concern? Like, it will never be that deep for me, to be honest. It will never deep. What is deep for me is the systemic issues that we face in this country, the systemic ills that we have to pretend is normal because we are used to it. We've been used to it from the day we were born, so we have to pretend that there's nothing we can do about it. You get? But the thing about such ignorance is that at the end of the day, the solution to ignorance, the cure for ignorance is what? Knowledge. Is what? Educating yourself. You understand? And some people, they go to school but they are not educated. That's just the truth of the whole world right now. A lot of people are in school, they are not educated, and so it's like, the economic class, the social class that this artist lives in, thrives in. Why can't he make a music, like, why can't he make music within his class system, or about, like, stay in his class system and make music? No, he has to use props because he wants to appeal to the masses, and the masses he wants to appeal to is by using human beings as prop, using people that, are probably in it for the money. Like, okay, we'll give you so amount to appear in the music video. You get, that was my critique of the video. So coming into my comment and saying things like, oh, you are bitter, amazing, like, okay, then let's go to the final aspect of this comment, which is great song. When he said you are bitter about a great song, the way he phrases it is just sorry, I'm using he, might be a he, she, I don't care, whatever the person is. The way the person phrases the comment, it's supposed to be that there's this implicit agreement between me and the person that the song is a great song. First of all, no, no, that's not what I think. I don't classify songs as great just because of the entertainment value I get from it. Yeah, and I feel like this implicit assumptions that Nigerians have when they listen to any Nigerian artist, you get, when they listen to Nigerian artists and they go, but the song nice, oh, the song good, oh, you feel vibe, you feel jam to the song, and they start to say, oh, you can dance to the song, you can play the song in clubs and dance and have a good time, or you blast it in your headset and you have a good time with the song. So me, I'm past that level. People can stay in that level of enjoying Nigerian artists that just give you song that you dance to, and that will be the end of it. They'll make money off of your attention, and you just get tired of the song and wait for them to release another slop again. I'm past that level. I'm past that nonsense. Okay, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care. And it's like, I'm not even where the way I even ended that video was because I even wanted to present this whole solution of say, okay, I've critiqued the song now. What is the solution? My solution is put the money where your mouth is. A lot of male artists scream about how they struggled, how they were poor, and I'm like, fine, you struggled and now you've made it, you've escaped the cycle of poverty that you are actually doomed to, but you escaped it, good for you. Now what? Now what? Is it to now keep on beating this dead horse of, oh, I was poor at this point in my life? Like, that is so futile and it does nothing for anybody. It edifies nobody, aside from the fact that you just want to make money off of Nigerians' short-lived attention span for jupa jupa music, yeah? And it's like, put your money where your mouth is, okay? Do something for the streets. Contribute to the welfare of these kinds of people. Contribute, donate to the system that these people live under. There are public schools in the area you left, and this one is even more even directed at Ayomaf, because Ayomaf is a featured artist on this track here. And Ayomaf, constantly speaks about how much he suffered, as coming up and up here as an artist. He suffered, and I'm not invalidating his suffering, because almost like if you talk to a lot of kids and your mouth is very young, so like I understand when I listen to his music, I see, and I believe where he's coming from, saying he suffered, and all of that, and I like, okay, that's fine and good, yeah. But now you're no longer suffering though. You're no longer suffering. You're no longer suffering. And it's like it will get to an extent that you can't just keep saying, although as artists you're allowed to, I don't know, write from where your inspiration comes from, and if his inspiration comes from, the suffering and the harshness you saw, on the streets and all of that, very valid and good. I don't have an issue with that. My own is just that there is no need to now glamorize, where you are coming from, glamorize it and make it aspirational to people that are listening to your stance, to your supporters, that, oh, aspire to be a hard guy, aspire to go through the streets, all those kind of conversations you get. And I'm like, let's move past, when we want to talk about music and we want to critique music in this country, let's move past, oh, this song is interesting and this song is dull. Let's move past, this song gets ama piano and this song has R&B. Let's move past, this song has American style lyricism and this song is too local, this song is too noisy. Let's move past dividing artists into Portable and Burna Boy and Thames, and dividing artists into different categories of enjoyment. Let's talk about the real issues that we are facing in this country. Okay, at the end of the day, the reason why most of these things persist, the reason why there is not a general wakefulness among Nigerians, and Nigerians are caught in this circle of hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping, is because we are refusing to pay attention to the things that contribute to the suffering that we experience here. Why should a successful artist need the presence of poor people in his video as props. It doesn't make any sense. It puts these poor men, these street people, as, aspirational. Oh, I know that if I'm from the street, I'll make it as an artist. You can't be for the street, and just your being for the street is just ending at making them props, are just aestheticization or glamorization, of the aesthetics of poor people. Just appropriating the aesthetics of poor people, cosplaying as a poor man. We can't keep in this circle of nonsense over and over and over again. Everybody needs to put their money where their mouth is. Yeah, you say you want to be a guy for the streets, do something for the streets. There are public schools everywhere. You can just go and sponsor, the development of a public school where you grew up. And your man can do that. He can do it. You don't even have to let your name, it can be anonymous. It's not about dumping bags of money in one person's hand, or giving money to one random person you see on the street, because that's how a lot of influencers make their own, build their community. They do giveaways. That does not help anybody. The money will finish, because you are still spending the money in this same bad system. The money will finish. We need to address the problem from the roots. Go to a public school, sponsor children's school tuition, like sponsor a lot of students, and pay for the school's library development, and follow it up. Don't just dump money in one person's hand. Follow it up. Let there be supervisors that will make sure that the library is built. Go through the suffering of negotiating with a local government council to make sure that where you came from, the road is good. After all, you have social currency. You can bring attention to, if there is uncooperativeness in the council, you can bring attention. You can put it on a post like, oh, I'm trying to help my environment. Oh, and I went to the local government council. Now they say they cannot build the road that I say I will sponsor. There's nothing there in sponsoring the road. Please help me bring attention to this local government area. I want to do the road for everybody there. If you can use your social platform to do that, there is nothing wrong. If you can highlight issues, in your environment that you grew up in, that you suffered, how badly the suffering is because you went through it. Yeah, you can do something about it systemically. It's not just about flexing on these people, flexing in your music video, flexing in your, is it not tired? Are you not tired? Are you not tired of producing the same slop over and over again? In fact, the question should be for the audiences, for people like that person that came into my comments and was talking about how I was bitter about the song. Are you not tired of always waking up every day in the same ugly reality? Then when you press your phone to relieve your mental strain, it is to see a random man telling you that he dropped a bag on a Lex. Are you not tired of the futility of hoping and wishing and praying to be like that man? Don't you just want to work in a system, to exist in a system where if you do this, you do this, you do this, you get this, you get this, you get that? Don't you just want to not stress about your future for a second in your life? So the thing about this whole conversation is just like, that comment is reeking of ignorance, and the person didn't even watch the video. That's the most annoying part. Like, you didn't watch the video. If you had even watched the video, I'll be like, okay, maybe you have something better to say. But you didn't watch the video. You just saw your favorite artist um thumbnail on my video. You saw your favorite artist picture on my video, and you ran. You saw me as a woman, and you ran along in your ignorance to comment. And it's like, top. um there's nothing anybody can do for anybody. I can't shove knowledge into anybody's head. Everybody will have to do the work for themselves. Like I said it on Instagram here. I was talking about how revolution comes from the inside. Revolution is not something that you will make people go on the streets. No, if they don't change their mind about, if they are okay, if they continue to persist in the illusion of joy in their circumstances, there will be no revolution. And that is why revolution is within. I can't shove knowledge inside anybody's head. I can't, because I'm talking about how poverty is systemic, and when we have artists that glamorize poverty, how are we going to start trashing the system that perpetuates it? The title of the song is Never Broke Again. Now, broke is just a fancy word of saying poor. okay, and it reduces the ugly truth about poverty, which is that poverty is systemic. For you to have billionaires, there must be poor people, people that are living beyond, beyond the standard of living, like people that cannot even aspire to get to the very low standard of living that we already living in this country. You get? So for billionaires to exist, those type of people have to also exist, and that is why the system is built to make people poor. That is just the truth about poverty. Poverty is systemic. Poverty is systemic. And when we have artists that are not contributing to the conversation, they're not doing anything for the man on the street, they're not doing anything to critique the government, they're not doing anything to speak up for people that are less advantaged than them, why should they now be given a free pass to use people as props in their music video? That's where I was coming from in my critique of the music video. I've moved past critique of the song is good, the song is not good. Who cares? You can dance to the song. People that are suffering every day, they can wake up one day and decide to dance. Suffering does not stop anybody from dancing. So if somebody can dance to your song, somebody can play your song is on earphone and have a good time in their mind. That is not bad. That we have evolved past that ignorance, that level of awareness. Like, let's stop pretending that that's the only thing that matters. Okay, let's stop pretending that that is me. Anyway, anybody else can me. I will not pretend. How can you be saying never broke again in your song, talking about dropping a bag on a Lexus, and you have poor men in your video that look as if you will see the poverty in their eyes, you will see the suffering, the despair in their faces. You're using it to prove the hardness of your rap guy. Oh, I'm a hard rap guy. Yes, look at me, I can get along with all these dangerous looking men. Also reinforcing negative stereotype about poor people. Also reinforcing negative stereotypes about poor people, as if poverty, you get, is equals to dangerous, you get. And most of the time that is the truth, you get, because at the end of the day, poverty causes people to be dehumanized. Like, they dehumanize themselves because they cannot survive under the conditions they live in, so they have to, like, lose their humanity on purpose just to survive. So now imagine, you think these men that are in your video pretend, making you feel as if you're one kind hard guy, chairman of the street. You think those men in the video don't have aspirations? Hello Kevin, welcome to the chat. You think those men don't have aspirations to be as wealthy as you are? You think they want to be poor? You think they want to be seen as hard guy? An example of people that actually, to see the reality of how these people live, let's look at this guy Zlatan. Where is Zlatan today? If being poor and being a hard guy was the epic, was the pinnacle of an identity for a man in this country, why is Zlatan why has he completely like shed all of the whole recognition, all of his whole kind of identity attached to the street? He has shed it completely, and he has, had a child, and that child, he has promised to make sure that child never sees one iota of the suffering that he went through on the streets. So that's just one person that made it out of such, punitive system of poverty. He, in this country, he made it out, and look at how he has shared it completely. But you have other artists coming and giving us this format that no, don't worry, I'm a hard guy. Listen to my rap because it's relatable to street boys, to street men. See me eating amala, I'm like them. I'm like them. I'm eating amala and ewedu, I'm like them. And then when the second half of the video, you are in a beautiful, soft lit, aesthetic music shop, and those men are nowhere to be found. Now you look at home with your red beret, with your jewelry, with your white singlets. You are sitting down, you are drinking tea. You're drinking tea from a very pretty cup. You and your feature artists. Those men are not there. Those men are not there. And let it be known that Iron Math is also somebody that kind of pushes this identity of, he's also from the street. But he was more at home in that music shop than if you had brought one of those the actual men suffering and living in poverty inside that shop. You would see how out of place those men would be. And it's like he purposely put that aura of sophistication, of gentlemanliness in his music video to show you that he's a multifaceted artist. Oh, me, Ladipo, I'm a hard guy. I have money. I can get, I have boys, I have men, in the streets, my guys. And then I'm also sophisticated. I can also hang around with the wealthy and enjoy music, soft lighting. I can enjoy the aesthetics of life. But these men, they are not, okay. They cannot be seen in this aspect of the video. I don't bring them here. That's just what my critique was about the video. Don't use, if you, no matter how you want to present yourself here in your music video, don't use poor people as props. Don't cosplay as a poor man. Own your wealth, own your privilege, and privilege, my accent is sticking out. Own your privilege, yeah. Own it. Let it show in your art. After all, Nigerians have aspirations towards wealth. They worship rich men. They always take the side of a rich man, of the rich man first before they hear out the poor man. That is just the reality we live in. It is something that we should question. We should always ask ourselves, why do we feel the urge to defend Dangote? Why do we feel the urge to defend an artist like Ladipo, where we're talking about poverty? Why do you feel the need to call me bitter for pointing it out that he's cosplaying poor? He is not poor. He's cosplaying poor to glamorize poverty, as if poverty is something to be aspired to, instead of something to be dismantled. So if you don't care about either side of this conversation, don't insert yourself as just me. I'm just here to take props. So that's, somebody has to call behaviors like this out. And because of this comment, I feel like I need to dedicate, days in my live stream. Maybe Sundays will be my day to just critique music in that sense, because no more, enough of this critique of, okay, so this song has amapiano and the amapiano is a vibe, or this song, the rap, the lyrics go hard, no, enough of that. Like, there are millions of people that can do that forever and ever. Me, I'm not interested in that at all. I'm always going to look at things from my own corner, my own social view, my social lens, because me self, I am learning. I decided to start learning about all of these things. And that is why I'm very much like aware that we don't have class consciousness in this country. We are not conscious of class. When we hear stories, we hear it in a vacuum. We listen to stories in a vacuum. When we listen to stories, we listen to it in a vacuum. We just immediately take, like, assume goodness on top of the person that has more resources, and assume badness on top of the person that has lesser resources, because we assume they have lesser resources. Implicitly in our mind, we have been indoctrinated to see poor people as inherently evil, and that is why they are poor. Like, you are poor because you're a bad person. You are poor because you do not work hard. You are poor because you do not go to school. You are poor because you do not believe in God. Anywhere of the society, any angle people will take to justify, why they cannot support a poor man in a debate between a rich man and a poor man. Any train of thought, they will take it to say, well, I guess that's why you're poor. What concern me with, like what concern me with that? Like, I talk about books here, I talk about social issues. Like, why the hell would I be envious of that? Like, he's not even on my radar. Like, why the hell would I be envious of Ladipo? Like, why? Where we are not connected. We don't have any intermingling interest in any way. Like, like, I don't see, like, I've never seen him as a person and being like, he has this interest, or I have this interest, and so maybe I feel like I want to aspire towards, his being or his achievement or something. He's not aspirational to me, so I cannot like, I cannot foment envy for such a person, yeah. But shutting down critiques, shutting down any avenue to learn new things is what is very common in this country. When there's an avenue to really dissect the foundation of things, people shut it down. They call you bitter if you're a woman. If it was a man making this critique now, they'll say the man doesn't know what he's talking about or something like that. But that bitter, is just because woman and all of that. Yeah, Matazela have put feminist. Thank God, during the critique, I never mentioned anything about the absence of women in this video, except that one woman that was cooking amala for them. I didn't mention anything about women in the video. I didn't mention about presence or lack of women. Because I just focused on what was clear to me and what needed to be spoken about. If not, they would have put feminists in the comments too. Like, So I don't know, like the reason why I'm highlighting this is because I felt like just responding, like just responding in another comment to him would be a waste of my energy in the sense of he's not going to read it because he didn't. How am I saying he? They did not read. They are not going to read it because they did not watch the video in the first place. Obviously, they did not watch the video in the first place. They just saw red letters and they're like, oh, bad, bad review, bad review. This is not a question of, oh, the song is bad or good. No, no, it's not. There is a middle ground between bad and good. I don't care if your song, is not danceable enough or it's not, I don't care about that. It's just like, what are you doing in your music video? What are you saying in your songs that, why should people listen to you? At the end of the day, it's just like slop. Shovel danceable beats to Nigerians with bragging about money in the lyrics. They will eat it until the next cycle of slop comes, and then you shovel the same thing in a different format, and Nigerians will gobble it down. Well, I'm not gobbling it down. Even if I'm just one person, I'm not gobbling it down. I don't care. I'm calling it out. I'm calling it out. Stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's wrong. Don't cosplay poverty. You are not poor. Don't use human beings as props. It's dehumanizing. Human being as prop. Use your keke, do your motorsport, your extreme sport with keke and yellow buses. I don't care. Why are the men there? Why are the men hailing you as they are doing extreme sports in a controlled environment? Why? Why are they there to hail you? Why can't you trust that your audience of viewership will hail you when they see that aspect of the music video? You need to make them see that, hey, this song is for you, the poor man on the street that has no home, no roof over his head. This is for you. I made it for you. I don't care about the social situations you live in. I don't care about your poverty. I don't care about your struggles. I don't care about how you've not eaten since morning. I don't care how you have to gamble to make, like, to get cash to be able to eat or fund your addictions, which I know that most of those men are also like probably addicts, of different kinds of drugs. But I don't care about any of that. Just that when you are in the throes of your sadness or your happiness, listen to my song, okay? Thank you. That's just what he's doing with the song. Listen to my song. Thank you for listening to my song. Like, if you're not going to talk about critique the system or applaud the system, if you want to be a middleman, don't use people as props. That's my own. Don't use people as props. Don't use people as props. Those men look so bad. Like, and the way they look so bad was stark because of how good the main artist looked with his red berets. Oh, and your mouth with the swag, to kind of validate is also, and your mouth is also like kind of like a pro, but I can't really call him a pro because he has agency, he has autonomy, he also has access to privilege, wealth, resources, yeah, and he's suffering lesser under the system than this other man. So he's higher than the men. So I cannot call him a pro. But at the end of the day, collabing with Ayomaf is also kind of to give street credibility. And hey, that's the word, street credibility to the rap music or rap album, whatever the hell it is that he made. Anyways, I think I have spent enough time. At least it's up to 55 minutes. I think that's an hour, addressing the comments. Since that person was talking about how I spent 1 hour to critique a music video, I want him to know that I can spend 1 hour critiquing an ignorant comment. Yes, I can and I will, because this is my channel. So make your peace with it or skedaddle away. So this book, I know I talk about books a lot. I know I speak about books a lot, but today I finally got this book back from the person I lent it to, Orpheus, the Myth of the Poet. I'm going to start reading it because I think it's more like a textbook, like an educational material, yeah, about Orpheus and about, poets is just intriguing me. I know about Orpheus, but poets is intriguing me because I'm like, whatever critiques, or whatever unraveling of this mythos of a poet that is going to come out in this book will be very instructional for me when I'm reading my E.Ts collection. Yeah, it's very instructional because I can now apply some of its critique or education of whatever I can apply to it. So I'm very happy. I have this book to look forward to. And then there's this thing I'm reading. As usual, I'm still reading Ngugi wa Thiong'o, and I was thinking of it that I'm going to make a not a live stream, to just be like a video here where I will review, or not review but summarize the books I read in September, which is not a lot. I actually have so many open books here that I'm reading. I don't know if I when I get done with this book, actually I'm going to now. Oh, VD, welcome to the chat. You're just joining. Hey, I have missed. Welcome to the chat. I'm so happy to see you. So, I was talking about I spent a long time here. Most of this video just addressing comments. Maybe when I'm coming to the end of the stream, I'll like repeat what I said, in summary and all of that. But in this section of the video now, I'm talking about how I'm reading certain books. This period. I started this book in September, yeah, The Golden Ass, and I aimed to finish it, but I got distracted by another book, and I finished that one, which was long overdue, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. I don't know if you know that book, Kite Runner. I started it way back early in the year, but it was such a heavy book, and it was hard for me to like get through the story because I was scared of where the story would go. But eventually I was able to finish it, on live stream. Get Oh, thank you, Nature Within. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for visiting. Subscribe, stay, check me out tomorrow. I'm here in case you have other things to do. But anyways, so I was talking about books here, and I started this book October, so I'm going to finish it very, very soon. I don't know if you've heard of this book. It's by Kenyan author, Weep Not Child, Ngugi wa Thiong'o. I'm going to finish it, and then I have to finish. I'm going to finish this book, definitely. It's not going to. I'm going to finish this book. I want to finish this book so that I can make a review of this one, Weep Not Child, and The Kite Runner as my video of the month. Yeah, I have to finish this book. Like seriously, it's not even that as complicated as I was, worried about it for. It's just a very interesting book. It's about a man that turns into a donkey. You get after messing with a witch's ointments. And it is set in times of like old Greece times, like old Grecian time, from a period when Greece was still an empire and all of that. Yeah. So the author's name is Apuleius, yeah, and the biography, the background of what I read about Apuleius, the author, is that he actually has kind of like, or he expressed an interest in the occult, you know, and in his real life, yeah, he was accused of casting a love spell on his wife, by her brothers, and they took him to court for it. They wanted to really punish him for the sin of witchcraft and all of that, or the crime of witchcraft, and then he actually defended himself. He didn't like use public defenders or something at the time, and the defense was so like spectacular that it is a whole book of its own. Apologia, that's the name of the book, yeah, of his whole written defense of himself in court and all of that period. So anyways, I'm reading this book now, yeah. This one is about Ngoto. That's the name of the character. Ngoto is the last born of his family, where his father married two wives. His mother is the second wife, and Ngoto. This story, Weep Not Child, is set in colonial era Kenya. Yeah, and it's specific to the period where Jomo Kenyatta, a real life figure, but in this book, like fictional, whatever. But Jomo Kenyatta, came back to after traveling in the land of the UK or the British, whatever. He came back to his people and was like, "Hey, I don't think it's right that these people are on our land. I think they need to leave." And the government of the time arrested him. They forced him to do hard labor, and then they declared a state of emergency over Kenya, arresting people that were suspected of being with the rebellion. There were also people that were for nationalist movement in Kenya, and those people, the government was arresting people sporadically, and the author himself experienced, suffered from this arresting. His mother was arrested, his brother was arrested, but in the book, yeah, in the story, yeah, when we read the introduction notes, the introductory notes, The person was telling us that the author emphasizes that it is not based on his life. I don't know why, or like, because a lot of similarities here, but it makes sense. Yeah, it's fine. Like most writers, I think this was like one of his first books, if not child. So I guess he just wanted to really make sure there was a separation between people and people's enjoyment of the story, or people's perception of the main character and him. You get, or from him, like you get. So the main character Ngoto is the youngest. He's described as a very sensitive boy. Like he's so sensitive. He's sensitive to. He notices things that other people would take for granted. Yeah. But the thing about Ngoto is that Ngoto has been primed for education. Yet he grew up listening to his parents talk about the benefits of white man's education, because at that point it was the British people that were like training people to be teachers in school. They were the ones teaching schools. They were setting up the missionary schools as well. But Ngoto was taught by a Kenyan woman. Yeah, so they were taught in their language and translated to English. You get, and all of that. So, anyways, Ngoto enjoys school. And especially when you think about the whole story of Ngoto's family. Now, Ngoto had an eldest brother. Yeah, the eldest brother went to war. Um, Second World War, went to fight in Second World War with the immediate younger brother, the second born, and only the second born came back. Second born's name is Boro. He's also a man, yeah. And when he came back, he was chained by the war. The entire family was grieved, by the death of their, eldest brother, eldest son, and all of that. And so, the father of the man is called what? The father of Ngoto is what? Um, wait, though. Hold on. Let me get clear on the names of the characters. I've been saying Ngoto. Ngoto is actually the name of the yes. Okay. So sorry. I've been saying Ngoto. Ngoto is the father's name. Unjoroge is the character's name that we're following, the son. Yeah, the son that is sensitive and notices everything. So sorry about that. Ngoto is the name of his father. um, Unjoroge has been primed for school. The parents are ready to send him to school. So at this time in the story, when the story starts, it is before this major announcement by Jomo Kenyatta that Kenyans should stand up and demand their land back from the strangers. Yeah, and so Unjoroge is a child, yeah, so he's just watching everything you get. But his father, Ngoto, at the time, he's married to two wives. He married two wives, yeah. So that the family is big and requires income and all of that, yeah, obviously. But Ngoto works as a slave. Mm, they don't use the word slave exactly, but it's implied that he's working as a slave on his land. Okay, Ungoto works under a white man called Mr. Howland, yeah, and Mr. Howland came all the way from the UK because he was bored. His life did not have any meaning. He fought in the First World War, and he came back to the UK and he realized he had no place. So what does he do? Instead of asking himself why he felt that way, no, let me conquer land. So he left his country, sailed on a boat to where East Africa, Kenya. And when he arrived at Kenya, he said the way he described it in the book is that he's like this unoccupied wilderness. And I'm like, what unoccupied wilderness? There are people living here. You met people here. What do you mean? Anyways, Mr. Howland buys out this huge sheaf of land, and all of the land belongs to Ngoto's ancestors, Ngoto's father. But the thing about Ngoto's situation is that Ngoto fought in the First World War. Yeah, and he was sent off, you get, with the white men. They said they were like they need more men to fight in the First World War. They need helpers. So the Africans that they took to war with them did not really fight. They were just like helpers in camp. So Ngoto survived that war and came back to meet that his land was no longer his. It belonged to this random white man. Yeah. So the way the story went, the way the exposition tells us is that these lands were bought out by this white men, and it was through trickery, because these Kenyans, they were not used to all this kind of wily ways. They just took them at their words, yeah, and they were cheated out of their lands. They could not ever get their lands even till they died. And so the next generation, that's Ngoto says, yeah, they came back from the war and they saw that their land no longer belonged to them, and so he felt this attachment to his land. obviously he was supposed to inherit it and give it to his sons. Yeah. So he felt like he doesn't have any place in the world. He has to stay on it and take care of it just in case, so that this white man will not destroy his land for him. And when the white man goes, he would get his land because according to the prophets, their religious leader is not Christianity. Yeah. According to their religious leader in Kenya, they said strangers will come, certain kind of people will come, but they will leave. Okay, and when they leave, we'll get our land back. That's what the prophet said. You get, and so Ngoto has been holding on to that from being a child to a grown man with a whole family here, 2 wives and children and all of that. He's still waiting for the prophecy to be fulfilled. You understand? So, but the struggle here is now he has sons, he has families. He keeps on following Mr. Howland everywhere. He keeps on, being serious, being extra, because it is his land, And then one time he's like, Mr. Howland starts to say things like, he's like he's caught up in a thoughtful moment, and he's now thinking aloud to himself like, who will I leave this land to? That's what he says. And Ngoto now replies that, are you not leaving? He's like, leaving to where? I'm not going anywhere. What are you talking about? This is my land. And Ngoto like felt this deep sadness in his chest. And the issue about Mr. Howland asking that question is because Mr. Howland also had a son the same age as Ngoto's first son that died in the war. That one too went with Ngoto's son. Two of them died in the war. Okay, but the younger son came back, Buru, to Ngoto, but Stephen did not have anybody, And so the second child he now had, you get, was very sickly, was not charismatic like the first son. He was not interested in the land, he was shy, followed his mother around everywhere. So he was like really pained, thinking about how, okay, who is this land going to? But despite how incompetent, he had already judged his son for being, he did not think of ever, returning the land to the owner. He still felt like he had to give the land to his son or whatever, yeah. So anyways, Mr. Howland has a wife, after staying on the land, buying the land out and, toiling the land or whatever, not toiling really, he employed Kenyans to work on the land, like mass laborers on his land or whatever, on the land and all of that. He now felt like he's ready to marry. So he went to England and he brought another woman. He brought a woman to marry him. And the woman, because she became frustrated with her life there, she thought maybe it would be like, the UK, but she'll be of a higher class, than, her peers in the UK. She now realized that Kenya is Kenya. Like, it's not going to be like England ever. So she decided to start taking out her, and she was mostly ignored by her husband because I was not obsessed with the land. So she started taking out her frustrations on the workers on the land, on the laborers. She was mean-spirited, she was evil, she really, really hit a lot of servants. She really, really changed people indiscriminately, and all of that. So she was like the mother, but the only person she could not touch was Ngoto, because Ngoto was Mr. Howland's right-hand man. Like, no matter what Ngoto did, Howland would tell her that, no, back off. Like, no, I'm not listening to you about that. Yeah. But despite how, Ngoto was very important to Mr. Howland, like important to Mr. Howland there, Ngoto was still his slave in his eyes, Ngoto was still at his mercy in his eyes, because then when Jomo Kenyatta came with this declaration of movement, and what he called for was a national strike, let everybody just stop working, why do we have to work for pennies, or shillings in our own land? Like, they need to pay us more. This lifestyle cannot continue. We have needs, all of that and all of that. Just a strike, just a strike. Mr. Howland now called the general meeting among his laborers, and including Ngoto. He said anybody that goes on the strike will be fired. So much for being indispensable and important to a settler colonialist, like settler colonists, like so much for that. Yeah. Anyways, there's another person that you need to know in this story. That is Mr. Jacobo. Okay, Mr. Jacobo is a Kenyan man, but he retained his ancestral lands, and so he's now the only rich man. Like, he's the richest African in that entire village, that Ngoto is in. And I think obviously him being the only one with the land probably afforded him, he probably negotiated his wealth, based on the way he could trap his fellow African men, you get, his fellow African people, you get, because at the end of the day, nobody else in that village is allowed to grow a certain kind of flower, only him. because that flour was very profitable. So the white men, the settlers, they said nobody else should grow it except Mr. Jacobo. So they get all their supply from Mr. Jacobo, and so he's very, very rich. You understand? And so all of this is happening. So they need to mention how Boro came back from the war, the second son of Ngoto. He came back from the war dissatisfied and angry at the world, angry at his people, angry at his ancestors for bargaining with their future with a white man. Like, why would you give them your land? You know, he was very angry, refused to see reason. He was just especially at his father, because his father had this kind of, like I said, he had this mentality that the white man will leave. That's what the prophecy said, the white man will leave, you know. But Buru one day, when Ngoto was telling a story based on the prophecy, and the story goes that there was darkness in the land, you know, nothing was seen, nothing could grow, all the animals were groaning, everybody was sad, and then out of the darkness shot forth a tree, and that tree grew so high, 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 it pierced the darkness, and finally, you know, the sun, you know, shone into that land, and there was light in the land, and so when there was light, all of the darkness, you know, melted away, and then the animals were free. And then there came a man and a woman, and they were blessed by the God, you know, their God, not the Christian God, but their own God. And you know, they were asked to like take over the land, basically. And so, me, the way I interpreted that story was that this tree is actually Jomo Kenyatta. You get, and I'm going to saw it that way too. So, the fact that Jomo Kenyatta came and spoke up, you know, for light to come upon, you know, the suffering of Kenyans, of his people, you know, that means freedom is coming at last. That means what? They will get the land at last. You know, the darkness will melt away. The white man, which is the darkness, will melt away. And after telling that story, Buru was just angry. I was like this does not make any sense. Yeah, basically, like, why did you let this happen? You know, it is your fault this happened, you know. And he was angry, and when he said that, and the thing kind of sparked a wakefulness in Ngoto. You understand? In that moment, Ngoto was like awakened from his slumber of waiting for prophecy. You get, like, he was awakened to the circumstances that he has been here all his life. He has been holding on to this land in a way to give it on to his children. What is he going to give his children? What is he going to tell his ancestors when he goes to meet them? You know, all of those things were like, you know, stirring up within him, while he kept on insisting on his son's education, his little son, his last born's education. You know, there is a son before Njoroge. That son's name is Kamal. Kamal was sent to learn carpentry, to be an apprentice, you know, under one carpenter and all of that. Yeah. But Njoroge was placed, you know, there was this mantle on him to be, you know, the one educated, the white man's education, so that he would free the entire family somehow with his education and all of that. Yeah. So Ngoto started feeling this stirring in his chest. Yeah, I started feeling this wakefulness, you know, into consciousness. You know, that thing I'm talking about, class consciousness. It just awoken in him, you know. And then when the call for the strike came, a lot of people were saying don't go. In fact, even had an argument. And one thing about Ngoto's family is that, despite being a polygamous setup, yeah, his family was very peaceful. In fact, he was very popular among his neighbors because his wives never fought. You rarely hear their voices. They don't really argue with each other, and all of the children see each other as perfect, like complete siblings. They don't even refer to each other as half siblings. They just say, "Oh, my brother, my brother, my brother," and all of that. So nobody's judging. Everybody takes Njoroge as their baby and all of that. Like, it's just one big family. Yeah. But on this day of the strike, you know, the strike being called, like notice going up about the strike, yeah, Ngoto Njoroge came home from school to see his father, you know, arguing, raised voices with his mother. And she was screaming at him that, do you understand that you're a poor man? Like, if you go on this strike, you are going to be, like, we're going to suffer in this house, you know, we're going to suffer, blah, blah, blah. And Ngoto was like, don't tell me what to do with this woman. You know, you can't tell me what I have to do in my life. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to stand by what you know, I stand for something and all of that. And Njoroge was so scared, he was crying, you know, so they stopped fighting and all of that. And then the strike came, and everybody, you know, they deployed, like, obviously the movement will deploy different people to come and like bolster people, to push people to, you know, step out in the street and strike. You know, it was not supposed to be violent. It's just like a walk through town, through the country, like, we don't want to work for these wages anymore. And so what happened is that the day of the strike comes, and there is like a sermon sort of by the person assigned to this village, Ngoto's village, and Ngoto is there in the crowd, and this man is talking and talking about how, giving people to come awake, to awaken to this whole issue on ground, and let us stand for this thing. And so Ngoto is there, his heart is like boiling, his chest is hot, is ready. And then Jacobo comes with a police officer. Remember Jacobo? Jacobo is also an African man, a Kenyan man. What does he come to do? He comes to be the voice of the white man. He comes to trade and barter with his people's freedom. And he says, my fellow brothers and sisters, don't do this. Okay? Don't step out in the strike. If you strike, they will fire you. The people that are telling you to strike, they have more money than you do. They can go back to their life. They're not affected. But you, they'll fire you if you strike. So why would you lose your income because of that? So, like, as he was now speaking, kind of wanting to dampen people's, spirit about it, Ungoto just stood up from the crowd, and he started walking towards Jacobo, and he walked, and Jacobo was like frightened, and everybody was so, because Ngoto is a calm man. He's very nondescript, very average guy. He does not really make noise, but that day, if the way he was, describing his feeling in the book, you get the writing, he was like as if something came upon him, and he felt such anger, and then he walked towards Jacobo, and I think he struck Jacobo, but he doesn't even remember. When he's narrating it, he just says he walked towards Jacobo, and then there was chaos, like all the groups scattered, police descended on the room, and everybody started running for their lives, but the aftermath of it is that Jacobo was hurt, by this guy, Ngoto. And then Ngoto, when he does that to Jacobo, yeah, he comes back to his body, and he notices that people are like, there's officer screaming at him to stop, and then he has also been hit by a baton, on his head, and his head is bleeding profusely, but he does not stop. He keeps walking with the blood, and he's running and he's running and he's running, and then he escapes from the whole, madness, and then he passes out, at his village side here, and then they find him. It's from there they found him. They brought him back home to the house, and obviously the aftermath is that the strike did not work. Okay, the strike did not work. The strike was, it did not work. It was not effective. And then what now happened next is that repercussions of being a revolutionary, repercussions of going against the system is that you will suffer. And so it happens. Njoroge, Ngoto is fired. Okay, fired from the farm, he's fired from Jacobo, he's fired from Howland, and he's sent out. And the thing is that they lived on the land that they worked. Okay, they built their hut on the land that they worked on. So now that they're fired, they don't have a place to go. The entire family has no place to go. So remember the third son, Kamal, that is an apprentice. So his apprentice, because Ngoto's name now spread around the village that this is what he did, for the movement. And people have always been saying it, that Jacobo is a strange man, that Jacobo is black, but it's also on the side of the white man, and Jacobo is not a friend of the black people. And sometimes black people are their biggest enemy, like African people are their own biggest enemy, that kind of thing. Yeah. So this apprentice, this person that is teaching his son carpentry, takes them in, actually invites them to his land and tells them, because he has his own land, though it's not a lot, but he invites them to his land and he tells them that they can manage in a hut, but the situation is very dire, because now there is no money to pay for Ngoto's school fees anymore, especially considering how the government increased the school fees of all the students that year. The following, after the whole period, it was for him to go to the next class, from standard 3 to standard 4, his school fees was higher, and now that Ngoto is no more getting money from his job, he doesn't have a job even, yeah. So the family had to sell some things, work extra hard. Hello, Pooja. Welcome to the chat. Hi, 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 hi. So the family had to sell things. Kamal had to work extra hard, to raise money, and then all of them were able to gather money for Njoroge to continue to go to school, and he described it as himself being very happy and all of that. So anyways, the part that I'm at right now is the fact that now that they've moved there, Boro, the son that came back from the war, he's now kind of moving with suspicious people. Yeah, he's now moving in the crowd of um he's not moving with freedom fighters, yeah, but he's not said, he doesn't tell anybody, you get, exactly, he just for some reason Ngoto feels like his son hates him even more than ever. Even after everything that Ngoto did, Boro still hates him more, and we don't know why. Yeah, but Ngoto internalizes this stress, of his son. Hello, Brat. Welcome to the chat. Ngoto internalizes the stress of his son's hate and would I call it disgust, towards him and all of that, and he falls sick. He gets his stress, but in his heart, he also feels very bad for his son. He feels bad that he could not have been, a more, respectable figure for his sons. Yeah, I'm in Nigeria, Puja. I'm in Nigeria. So where we are right now is that at the end of the day, a lot of people, moved to Nairobi, which was the capital at the time as well. So they moved to Nairobi, the big city states, where not states, because Nairobi, Kenya is divided into counties. So the big county, the capital of the country. So they moved. So Kamal is moves to since he has finished his apprenticeship, yeah, he moves to Nairobi, and Boro is also like living in Nairobi, and so Njoroge feels very lonely. He feels as if when his brothers go, he's going to miss them. They're going to change. You get, he fears that the city is going to change his brothers, to something unrecognizable by him, that he will not be able to connect with anymore. But what happens is very interesting, because at the end of the day, these men, Boro and Kamal, they end up, getting in problems with the police, with the government, and they're arrested on suspicions of what, um, rebellion. Yeah, so they're arrested, and nobody has heard from two of them in months. So the family have gathered there one night, one day. They've gathered, and they are like worried and worried and worried. Boro makes it back, okay, in one piece. So it's only come out that the family was waiting for now. So everybody's like fearing, like they're afraid that, oh, will something happen to him? The neighbors have gathered, they are waiting for, every night they're waiting for Kamal to come back home. And then Kamal comes back home, and he comes back in such a bad state. He's exhausted, he looks parched, he looks starved and all of that. So he looks very sickly. But when he returns home, they're like, his mother is like fussing over him. She's like, what happened to you, my son? Everybody's like worried, and they're like asking him what happened, and he's like, they have to give him water first. And so they give him water, and he starts to speak of his experience that he was just with some people or something, and then they arrested him, and so they put them in jail for several weeks. Yeah, and then the government does not know what to do with the rebellion. They don't know, they cannot just, or they felt they could not just, kill them. At the end of the day, they were not really doing anything. It's just suspicions. There's no real grounds of arresting them. It's just suspicious charges here. And so they say, then there's a directive that comes on in his own like cell, that the police should kill all of them, just take them to the bush and kill them. Yeah, and so they pack them, into a truck, and they are driving off. And then in the bush, yeah, Kamal gets this idea. There's a distraction in the front. Kamal now gets the idea to jump. So when he jumps, other prisoners jump up, and they start running, finding their way back home. And so Kamal to start running, and he said he does not know where he's going. He does not know the road, but he just keeps walking. That he knows that he will get to his village one day. So he walks and walks and walks, and eventually, he makes it, to his village. But it was a very, very tough journey. He had to hide. He had to sleep in trees. You know, so like he comes back and he's narrating it to his family and all of that. And so that's where that's where I'm at right now. Actually, I'm accurately on the point where like Ungoto is just like, having several sort of thought processes about, his family. He's thinking about Boro. He's thinking about, his place in his family as the head of the family. How, his son does not see him as a father figure anymore. Anyway, so that's just where I'm at in this book here, and I want to finish it like so that I can make a review of it. But I won't make a review of it entirely until like I'm done with this book as well. So I'm going to read this book as well. I'm going to like I have to finish it. Yeah. So many things I've started. I even have a Star Wars like novel, yeah. And I began it because I'm curious about Star Wars. I've never seen any of the movies there. I don't think I care enough about movies like Star Wars to watch them. I don't know. I feel like maybe if I like dedicated myself to Star Wars, I might, you know, enjoy drawing it. But drawing, I said drawing. Enjoy watching it. Sorry, I meant enjoy watching it. Yeah, but I don't know. And also, I want to see. There's a lot of social communities, internet communities formed around Star Wars and all of that. And it's like I want to see what the hype is all about. Yeah, but I feel like since I'm more of a book person. Yeah, I felt like the book would be more attractive for me to watch than the movie. The only thing is that the book, there are different stories. You can't just pick one and be like, okay, this is all of Star Wars. Yeah, where I'm at is where I don't know if anybody has seen Star Wars, but where I'm at in this book I picked was the one where um they want to rescue Han Solo, and so um the son of Darth Vader, yeah, is working with Princess Leia and some other guys to free Han Solo, yeah. And I think it's this era where Darth Vader, finds out information that he has a son, So I guess I'll come upon, and then Palpatine is the Dark Lord. Palpatine is the Dark Lord. One of that guy is also one of that man, one Emperor of Sand or something like this, his right hand man. So I'm excited to like also read that. I don't know why I haven't completed those books. Um, yeah. So those are the things that are on my schedule to fulfill this period. Those are the things that I plan to achieve this period. Yeah, my book goals. Yeah, my book goals. Those are my book goals for this month. Complete 2 books in this month and make a video about all the books I read. And then what else? There's another book I completed last month, Family. I completed it on live stream here, so I'm going to make a review of that one too in the video that is coming. I don't even know how or when I'm going to film it, but it will happen. It will happen. It has to happen. So. How is everybody? Yeah. I've been talking for so long. Oh my god. How is everybody? Let me just stop talking so that everybody can like contribute, say something to me. Like Christine, how are you? Christine is still in the chat. Christine, how are you? Vidi, how are you? How's your day going today? I'm in a better mood than yesterday because things worked out for me eventually today. So I was so worried for nothing, I guess, yesterday. Um, yeah. So what is up with everybody? Or any new person in the chat, let me know what your name is, where you're from. I wonder about my moderator. I assigned somebody to be my moderator, like one nice fellow like this, cold-hearted, yeah. But it's been a while. I've not seen him on the stream for a while, so I hope he's okay. If you ever see this cold-hearted, I hope you are doing well. Um, yeah, I hope you are doing well. Hmm. Also, I'm thinking about Raji. I wonder how Raji is. I hope he's doing well as well. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining me here today. I am fine. Thank you for asking. How are you, Joe? Is there anything going on in your life right now that you want to like celebrate or share? Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. You were talking about your YouTube channel. When have you sorted it out? Have you started your channel? Oh, you build AI apps. Oh, okay. Oh, congratulations then. I'm not the. I'm not the. I don't really care for AI actually. I don't support AI. Hello Naveen, welcome to the chat. My friend Olaf is saying hi. Hello, hello. Hello Naveen, how are you? How is your end of the world? Oh, I feel like AI, not I feel, but AI is causing like environmental damage. No, I didn't make it though. It's just I just have it. The toy. AI is causing rapid how to call it, frying of the earth basically. Global warming is at an all-time high. Global warming. Um, oh, I'm not for AI. I just don't agree with the concept of it. And the data centers are, making life difficult for the people that live around them. The people that also build those data centers do not care for, um, you know, compensating the locals in the environment. They do not care for the wildlife, the ecology of the environment. They do not care about that. And I don't like the fact that it is just a clear, it feels very, it is like there's barely anything that is um, not for profit here. Everything is for profit here. It's a capitalist consumerist society. um the good side, I should look at the good side, Joe, and tell me the good side. Tell me why you like AI. Let me hear you out. Productivity. What else? And also productivity, does it not go hand in hand with efficiency? AI has a very, very, very um low accuracy. Yeah, AI has a very, very low accuracy. So this makes whatever you're producing, uh, less than efficient, you know. And then since there's no supervision over, the results of this productivity levels of the AI, there's all this implicit assumption that, oh, you did something, you were highly productive there, so. And it's like there are no regulations in place for AI, and the fact that there's no regulation makes it a very dangerous tool, because the no regulations allow the people that build this AI to like make money off of people's suffering. Um, Connect in what way? I have an email address and I am on Instagram, but connect in what way? I'm curious. Also, there's this whole thing um, where children, that are navigating depression, and they don't want to tell anybody about it, talk to AI. And at first, it probably kept them company, but then the AI was telling them to, go with the darkest. No, I don't use AI. The AI was telling them to go with the darkest, most sinister motivation that comes out from depression, which is ending their lives, and they did it. The family did not even know about it. Nothing, just like that. Those kind of unchecked excesses, those kind of unchecked. No, I don't use ChatGPT, especially ChatGPT, because because ChatGPT is Spotify is. See what I'm going to see what I have to do. Because ChatGPT is Spotify is collaborating with ChatGPT. I'm no longer interested in Spotify. Already I've abandoned Spotify a long time ago, yeah, because of how they use this thing, magic shuffle. I do not like that magic shuffle, but now it's just like fine now. Why are you saying damn? Why are you saying damn, Joe? I'm just why are you saying damn? You have to hear these things, okay? Even if you exist in a world where like your reality is that AI is so cool for you, you know, and AI is so helpful for you, you have to see that it doesn't apply everywhere, you know. You have to hear other people's perspective. What do I like doing? Books. I like books. I like reading. Movies are great. I do hobbying like knitting and crochet. Yeah, I write sometimes, and I have this puzzle set I'm working on. So like, there's tons of things for me to do. I have this puzzle set I'm working on. I have completely abandoned because the last time I tried to fix the pieces of the puzzle, God, I cried. Oh, the live stream is on my channel. I just spent the entire thing just crying about how bad I was feeling at it. But I think it was also exciting for me because that's why I got the puzzles in the first place. Yeah, I just wanted to put myself through that ringer, but I need to recover from it as well. So, um, what do you like doing, Joe? Do you just talk to ChatGPT all the time? What do you like doing, Joe? What do you like doing? At the end of the day, we can't just agree on everything. You know, we can't just do the same thing, all of us just behaving like, you know. No. Sometimes you just have to know that some people don't like some things. You like coding. Okay, so does AI help you to code? I know nothing about coding actually, so it's something that I've always looked at, you know, with a sort of awe, because I feel like I don't have the patience to learn that. But does AI help you with coding? Oh, for real? Like, tell me some things, some ways that AI has actually succeeded, you know, um, incorporating with you to like code, you know, what the result of your coding brought about with AI. Tell me, I want to know so that I will look it up. Did you study like, did you study this in university and coding? I know it's not just like coding is just not just one thing. I think it comes under like a course, you know. I don't know, computer programming or something. Like, did you study that in school or something? If you know how to code. Oh, self-taught, wow. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's impressive. But with AI, I don't know about that. Yeah, I've not really seen the stats on the successes of AI coding. You know, self-taught. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But you were saying something. If I know how to code, what next? Have you ever used no? Never. No, never. No, never. especially because I'm not a very let's just leave it at that. I've never used ChatGPT. No, never. No, never. Is it only ChatGPT you use, Joe? Is it just ChatGPT or you don't use, like, what about other AI programs? Many. For what? What? Aside coding, what else does AI help you with? Tell me. What other one? I think depends on the task. You mean living? Task of what? Like, okay, writing. Okay, writing works. What kind of stuff? Like, you writing homework, schoolwork, assignment, project. Is it schoolwork? What exactly are you writing? What exactly do you write? I'm interested. Email, social media post. Hmm, interesting. When you say email, so that means like you probably emails in what sense? Is it like you deal with a lot of emails? Like there are so many emails you deal with that you have to have, some sort of machine program. Is that it? Or emails for, I don't know, your own business or something like that? And social media post, I don't know about that. So social media post, is it like Instagram captions or Twitter captions? Just one email to different people, to lots of people, or to where? To lots of people or what? Donna, the Donna, Donna never get Donna. Donna, the Donna, quick before the hyena comes. Donna, the one person, and you need ChatGPT. Why? What about social media? Is it Instagram? Donna never get Donna. Donna, the Donna, quick before the hyena comes. Should I put it down here? Why? Why do you need ChatGPT for one email? Face the crowd. Face the crowd. Ula. Say hi. Just like the light is so reflective. Any social media platforms? That feels like dependency. If you need it to operate like stuff like one email to one person, uh, if you don't use it, what other task you perform with ChatGPT? Tell me. I'm curious. What other chats do you perform with ChatGPT? Stay here. Because I like it. Is it? You can try it too now. I think it's a very cool thing. I like using different colors. It's just interesting to me. Donna, Donna, Donna. You're a man, and so let yourself enjoy things, okay? So what if you put nail polish? Who's going to beat you? Don't put yourself in a box, okay? You can try different colors of nail polish. Nobody cares. I don't care. I wouldn't care. So I don't know. Um, I don't think it matters. What other tasks do you perform with ChatGPT, Joe? Explain to me. You said writing. Vibes with Tyler. Okay. Tyler. Please don't call me mommy. Just call me king. Thank you. That's so funny. My name is King. Nice to meet you, Tyler. So, what other tasks did you perform with ChatGPT, Joe? Welcome to the channel as well. Mm. I wonder if anybody has seen Lion King Part 3. I don't know what the name of that one is. Lion King Part 3. I really like the behind the scenes. It was so important for me to see. Um, yeah, Joe, tell me, I'm listening. What other tasks do you do with ChatGPT? You can't remember, but there are many. You need to make a list so that you always be aware of um, how you are like, you know, how ChatGPT is indispensable to you. If you say you can't remember, but there are many, you have to think about the other side of the conversation where the planet is hurting from. Let's not say that. Let's just say AI is hurting the planet. AI is harming people that live around those data centers. So if you want to consider, like, if you are considering that side of the conversation, you have to be very exact about the ways that you use AI to create, maybe so you can justify why. Else it just feels like, because it's just the fad of the moment and everybody's doing it, and if everybody's just doing something just because everybody's doing it, so why do people have to like suffer the effect, of a trend that's going to eventually pass? You understand? It's just something to consider. I'm not here to like kind of beat at you with the wrongness or the rightness of AI or ChatGPT. It's just like we just have to have conversations about things outside of our immediate concern. You understand? I feel like that's just my thing. I feel like I'm the person that is always going to bring up, uncomfortable aspects of, conversations, and it's not fun. But it's just like I think I want to say it not to make you feel like pressure to be something or to do something you don't want to do, but just that at least know what you're doing. Yeah, know what you're doing. Maybe one day, you could be impressed upon by your knowledge to kind of like maybe stop or change or create a better alternative. Nobody is saying they are against, artificial intelligence, but it's like we have to improve on it. This way of doing AI is doing more harm than good, in my opinion. From what I see, it's doing more harm than good objectively. I can't say objectively and say in my opinion, but it's doing more harm than good, yeah. And so maybe consider it. That's why, like, tell me exactly what you are using AI for. You get email sending to just one person from one person, and social media captions doesn't really feel like that big of a deal. You get, and it's something that you can apply yourself to. It will be uncomfortable. I guess that's just part of existence. We can't just let ourselves, lose our humanity in the name of productivity and efficiency and ease and comfort. Like, yeah, what are we here for? Where are we rushing to? Where are we? What are we avoiding again? What else are we running away from? We are here. We are here. So, and I know the conversation about even the creation of AI, yeah, it came from this aspect of our culture where we are so used to consuming, yeah. We are so used to consuming. We are consuming faster than we can produce, and the people that are, on the front lines of that, stream of production are suffering. They're not well compensated, and they are crying out for more, for better treatment. And then the people that still want us to consume their stuff, meanwhile they don't want to expand, the benefits of being in the front lines of production. They're the ones that now say, let's come up with AI, to bypass this whole whining and crying for better conditions. Let's come up with a system that we can use to exploit people in a very different way, and also, exploit resources of other people's, well-being on this earth. Let's come up with those ways so that we can bypass this ugly, uncomfortable conversation about how we treat our workers, about how we treat people that actually make this product that are forcing them to also consume. Yeah. So like it's just that's why when it comes to you as one individual person, you can't just say continue to tell yourself that, oh, I'm just one person and I'm just using it for this number of things. So no, it's in the you that is the one person. There's a reason why you are using it. There's a reason why you feel it's so important to you. For someone that taught themselves coding, you can achieve things yourself. But why do you feel that you need to send an email with ChatGPT? You literally learned how to code yourself. Like you see the way you know it's not balancing. The scales are not balancing. If you learn how to code, why do you need ChatGPT? You've already done something very worthwhile and difficult, I assume. Why do you need to code? Why do you need ChatGPT to be a crutch at this point in your life? So I don't know. I feel like those are the things we need to talk about. Yeah. So if this is your first time on my channel, I talk a lot. Please subscribe. It helps the channel. And if there's a way, I don't know if people know how to hype videos, like hype hype the video, okay? I don't know where. I think it's in the like section. You can hype it or something, but hype my video, hype my live stream. Yeah. Anyways, it was fun addressing that comment, and I'm free of it. I've dusted it off my shoulder because I know I was right. I was right and they are wrong. um Aside that, I don't think it's about rightness or wrongness. Again, it's not about either or. It's not about good or bad. It's about the middle situation of um the way people with access to resources, rich people, privileged individuals, want to still profit off of, poorer people, want to profit off of systemic issues without, shedding light on it or alleviating anything, the suffering of, the people that, are within reach. Instead, they want to cosplay as poor and use people as props, in their music videos to make people that, have no other lesser options than they do, to be more lesser options than they do, or lesser resources than they do to buy into this fantasy they are selling of music. Just selling slop. Oh, I made music, listen to me, validate my street credibility. So that's fine to say, concerning that comment. Yeah. And yeah, I think I articulated myself, in the best way I knew how. And yeah, I'll keep on speaking about music since it seems to make people feel. I feel like even if this person that made the comment, didn't watch that video and is not going to watch this video, I just want to reiterate it, yeah, in case somebody randomly just comes across my stream and they are like, what exactly is the issue with a random music video, and it's like, yeah, this is exactly the issue with stuff like that, yeah. Media shapes our perception of reality, whether we like it or not. It shapes our perception of reality. If you keep on listening to music that glorifies poverty and poor men and say that you need to be, you that are poor, you have some kind of street cred, that rich people are looking for, and obviously they'll pay you for it for a time, but when you're not more useful to them, you can get lost in your suffering from their lives here. And it's like, that does not seem, that should not be allowed to fly any longer on my watch. And I'm just one person here, but I don't care. So I'm going to highlight, other music videos now, since that person has made it a point to comment. I'm going to now start highlighting different music videos, Nigerian, of being, balanced, yeah. let everybody hear from me. I'm going to, you know, make reviews of music videos, but I don't know. Sunday seems like a great day to do so. But maybe Friday might be cool. Depends on when all the songs are being released. Yeah, if I if there's somebody like Rema's new song "Fun" came out here, and I watched it this morning. But I wanted to address that whole critique this morning as well. So today, so maybe we'll talk about Rema's "Fun" tomorrow, and my feelings on the video. At the end of the day, I'm not going to have feelings on like all videos. It's not going to be that. But the things about the videos I review would be what will be much front and center beyond aesthetics. It will be not beyond aesthetics, because aesthetics matter here. Beyond the objective or subjective entertainment value of the song, you get. I'm not going to focus on that. I don't care anymore. We have a bajillion form like of entertainment in this world, and more are being like refreshed, new. Everybody in the factory is coming up with new ways to entertain everybody else, and it's like, stop, keep on coming with those things. But at the end of the day, this little way of mine, I'm going to filter stuff out that needs to be filtered out through my conversations. Yeah. And so that's what I intend to do with music reviews. I don't want to talk about the entertainment value anymore. Sometimes my music reviews might lead into critique of the industry at large. Yeah. And the conversation about especially Nigerian music, you know being on the global stage right now, what it means for us Nigerians, what it means for the artists themselves, how they are being portrayed in the media. At the end of the day, it is not perfect, and it is very far from good. So are we just going to keep on pretending we don't see the writing on the wall sometimes? Like, no, we're going to address the elephant in the room. Also, the final episode of Peacemaker is coming out on Friday, so I will be watching that, and I don't know, I might speak about it on Saturday, or if I watch it before my live stream I'll talk about it on the live stream on Friday. But Friday is also the day I pick a horror movie for us. Because I love watching horror movies. And the horror movie I recommended last week, I haven't seen it yet. It's David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future. I'm going to watch it maybe tomorrow. I'll just talk about the movie, yeah? Let's talk about Crimes of the Future tomorrow. I'm going to try my best. The movie is so hard to watch, but I will get through it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it for the sake of my channel. Yeah, I'll watch it and we'll talk about the movie tomorrow. Crimes of the Future. So if you want to watch the movie as well, just look it up. Crimes of the Future. That's the name of the movie I'm recommending. I'm going to talk about it. Today is what? Wednesday. Yes. So we'll talk about tomorrow, Thursday. Horror movie Thursdays. How about that? How about that? How about that? Anyways, I'm so happy for the first time in a long time. I don't know why. It has been hard for me to, reach my usual mark of, 2 hours length live stream. They're taking light. Oh my god, my battery is low. Okay, let me not get distracted. So I'm so happy today. I was able to get to 2 hours, the 2 hour mark. Yeah. So thank you for spending time with me, whoever you are. Pristine, thank you for spending time with me. Vidi, Joe, thank you for talking with me. Thank you, Sunday, for also sharing your contributions on the chat. Everybody that stopped by, I hope you subscribe, for more, support my channel. And I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. So bye-bye. Bye. Bye.